Owsley County road crews are working around the clock to clear the roads. We'll show you how it's going coming up.
Investigators are working to find two people after their home catches fire overnight.
Should Kentucky allow charter schools? Fayette County school leaders are debating the controversial issue before lawmakers in Frankfort.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
And good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting. Some folks in eastern Kentucky are still trying to dig themselves out of all that snow after the weekend's blizzard.
Officials in Owsley County say last week's storm brought the worst snowfall they have ever seen. Now road crews are working around the clock to get it all cleared out. Mike Linden has more on their efforts from Owsley County. It's our top story at 4:30.
It's been a few days since the historic snowstorm hit eastern Kentucky, but some Owsley County officials say they still have plenty of work to do. With more than 1.5 feet of snow covering the county, road crews have been working non-stop since Friday in Owsley County. Road department officials say with more than 150 miles of roads countywide and just 2 ice graders, cleanup has taken a while. Owsley County Judge Executive Cale Turner says they can't seem to catch a break from heavy snow in recent years.
Last winter we got officially it was 14, but in places we had around 20 inches. But overall this is probably the largest snow that's come in at least 24, 5 years.
Turner says with the majority of the county roads being quite rural, narrow, and made of gravel, he says crews still have about 3 to 4 more days of work to go until the roads are completely clear. In Owsley County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Well, despite the heavy snow and ice, Turner says that no one has been injured in the county. Well, the morning rain is pushed out of the bluegrass, leaving behind some much colder temperatures for us.
But most of the snow in the Lexington area seems to be gone. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Chris, it kind of disappeared faster than I even thought it would.
You get a little rain on top of that. Those gusty winds, too, kind of eating a lot of that away. But as we were showing some of those sky cams out there a little bit ago, still for areas that had more than a foot of snow on the ground, you still got snow that is out there. We still got pockets here in Lexington, by the way. Temperatures are into the 30s across the entire area. Far cry from those 40s that were kind of eating the snow alive yesterday. 30 degrees what it feels like when you throw the gusty northwesterly wind into the mix, and it's going to drop into the 20s over the next few hours. Precipitation across eastern Kentucky in the form of mainly some sprinkles or very light rain, touches some snowflakes on the back edge of that into sections of central Kentucky. Overall, that stuff is zipping through here very, very quickly. If you're out this evening, it's in the low 30s and maybe even some upper 20s by 11 o'clock. Cold temperatures, watch out for some refreezing on area roads. We'll stay seasonally cold for the next few days. Then it's a big temperature bounce on the way for the weekend. Looking for a serious thaw? We have it for you in the 7-day forecast when I come back in less than 10 minutes.
Investigators still have not found an elderly couple who lived in a home that caught fire overnight.
Firefighters say the vehicles belonging to the couple were outside the home in the Farrells Creek community of Pike County, but they did not find the couple. Firefighters spent several hours working to get that fire under control, and that kept them from being able to go inside the home and search. US 460 was shut down for several hours, but police reopened one lane about an hour ago. Lexington police are investigating a smash and grab at a BP station on Winchester Road. They say someone used a rock from the parking lot to smash through a front door before stealing cartons of cigarettes. School leaders from Fayette County were in the Capitol today discussing the controversial issue of charter schools with lawmakers.
This debate centers around, will they help or hurt the state? Our Mark Barber takes a look at both sides of the issue.
I've been evaluating charter school reforms.
The debate over charter schools comes down to one question: will they help or hurt Kentucky? Outside organizations run charter schools, which are publicly funded and open to anyone. They don't have to follow some of the rules that apply to district schools, like class size requirements and traditional school calendars. Lawmakers still have not issued a charter bill for the General Assembly, but some lawmakers who support charter schools are planning to propose a 5-year pilot program in Lexington and Louisville. Those who want to see charter schools in Kentucky say they offer innovative teaching methods.
A lot of the schools, the companies that are moving into the urban areas now are the college prep schools. They do a very good job often for the children that gain access to those schools.
Critics say charter schools pull tax dollars away from public schools. They also worry that the privatization of charter schools puts profit ahead of pupils. Fayette County school leaders did not explicitly say that they're opposed to charter schools, but they did showcase success stories from students in alternative schools that are already here.
My grade point average was a 3.0 at my other middle school, and then when I came to Carter G, my first year, I had a 3.9.
The controversy over charter schools is an old debate, but it's a new year, so lawmakers and school leaders are waiting to see what happens next. In Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The charter school debate divides along party lines. While Republicans have tried to push charter school legislation through in the past few years, so far Democrats have kept it from passing. Iran's president visited the Pope at the Vatican today.
The Iranian leader is trying to make his country more visible after a recent nuclear deal. CBS's Jonathan Vigalotti reports.
The meeting between Pope Francis and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani began with a handshake and then moved to the Pope's study in the Vatican, where Rouhani gave the Catholic leader a Persian rug. The 40-minute discussion kicked off a European tour Rouhani hopes will position Iran as a key player in Middle East peace efforts. The Vatican says Tehran should play a major role in fighting terrorism. Rouhani says his country is now the safest and most stable in the region. He wants to end decades of diplomatic distance with the West over its controversial nuclear program. Iran recently agreed to limit the program in exchange for sanction relief. This is the first time in nearly 2 decades that a pope has met with an Iranian president. Pope Francis told Rouhani he hopes for peace, and the Iranian president asked the pope to pray for him. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News.
To make sure the leader of the Islamic Republic would not be offended, the Italians covered nude Roman statues in museums where he visited.
The head of Ohio's EPA is calling for a criminal investigation after the operator of a water treatment plant in northeast Ohio failed to notify the public that they may be drinking dangerous water. Officials say dangerous levels of lead and copper were found in 7 of 20 older homes during tests dating back to last summer. But it wasn't until last week that city officials issued a public notice warning children and pregnant women not to drink the water.
We also recognize that our district office was probably too patient with the village as they were working with them to get the proper notification out.
And the EPA has suspended the town's water plant manager from working at the treatment plant, saying he submitted, quote, misleading, inaccurate, or false reports.
A Lexington man is now back home after driving to Flint, Michigan. Rapper Divine Karama spearheaded a campaign to collect water to deliver to Flint. Yesterday, he drove a U-Haul filled with 500 cases of water to Michigan to help families there in need. He made it back to Lexington around 4 this morning. A federal appeals court has rejected a request from the coal industry to delay new rules on dust monitoring in underground mines.
The National Mining Association and several coal companies asked the court to halt the implementation of a rule taking effect February 1st. That rule would increase the number of air samples taken in underground mines. Kentucky fans have a chance to help the Wildcats beat the Florida Gators in a different type of competition. The 8th annual Big Blue Slam is underway right now. The competition encourages both Kentucky fans and Florida fans to donate blood. After the first day, Gator fans have the lead, 279 to 235. Any Kentucky fans who donate this week will receive a Slam t-shirt and a chance to win tickets to the 2016 NCAA men's basketball tournament.
I know some people still have a lot of snow on the ground in places, but here in Lexington, it's nice to see it starting to inch away.
I know. So much of it was here just a couple of days ago, and Chris, most of it in Lexington's gone.
Boom. We just take care of it like that, huh? With a little rain, a little bit of gusty wind. But now let's compare and contrast. Let's look at the Mountain Parkway corridor. Parts of the Mountain Parkway corridor picked up better than 16 to 18 inches of snow. They still have quite the snowpack. And look at the roads. Notice the roads are looking dark here. Well, that's some moisture on those roads that will likely refreeze later tonight. Now look at the view here in Lexington, where we had the drifts. You still have some snow out there. We have a couple of snow flurries that are flying at the station as of right now under a mostly cloudy sky. The moisture across southeastern Kentucky continuing to scoot on away, but you notice the back edge of that is turning over into a little bit of light snow and flurry action. Overall, not a big deal, but it's one of those patterns with a northwesterly wind. We could be talking about some flurries that fly all the way through the day on Wednesday. Roads are still in pretty good shape out there. Let's check on traffic and see what's going on. Here's Officer Don.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic, and we do have a collision that doesn't appear to be weather-related, but it's there nonetheless. It's outbound North Broadway at Short Street. They have both lanes of outbound North Broadway blocked, leaving downtown. They're diverting traffic there a block away. And then inbound North Broadway, the left lane is closed. So that's going to cause some issues for folks heading from downtown toward the Circle on North Broadway. Other than that, drive time's not impacted on the interstate. Looks good into Versailles. No major issues into Scott County or Georgetown. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. A seasonal Airbnb listing. A dog joins a marathon, and the world's slowest creature tries to cross the road. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
Airbnb was not hot about this new listing on its home rental site. A Brooklyn man built this boutique winter igloo for two in his backyard during the weekend's big winter storm. He described it as a chic dome-style bungalow and wanted to charge $200 a night. But Airbnb removed the post, saying the igloo did not meet its standards.
A dog's bathroom break turns into her big break as she unknowingly finishes a half marathon. Ludivine the Bloodhound turned up at the starting line of the Elkmont Half Marathon in Alabama. The dog trotted along with runners for the entire 13.1 miles. She competed without a human or leash and finished, get this, 7th place. Her owner, who is not a runner, didn't even know about her celebrity dog until a friend filled her in. Ludivine was presented with a finisher's medal for her accomplishment, and then she went home and took a really long nap. We both saw this story last night, and just she looked so proud with her medal there.
I earned it. I deserve it. A cute sloth was rescued when he was trying to cross busy highway in Ecuador. The animal was found clinging to a pole in Los Rios. The transit authority rescued the sloth and thanked its followers for their concern on Facebook. They said the little animal has been checked out by a vet and is in great condition. The sloth has been released back to its natural habitat. Did not want to let go of that sign and wanted to live.
Scared to death there. All right, stick with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.